and Jack just says he has nothing he disagrees with Donald Trump on. That's not leadership. This state needs real leadership, and that's exactly what I'll do as governor.
Over the weekend was a debate between the two gubernatorial candidates who won their prospective primaries, Mikie Sherrill, who's been a guest on this program, and Jack Ciattarelli, a Trump know-nothing, a Trump do-nothing. Well, not a do-nothing. He certainly loves to kiss Donald Trump's ass and say that Donald Trump does nothing wrong, and he agrees with everything. There's no daylight between Jack Ciattarelli and Donald Trump. And maybe that's where we should begin. I got 3 clips for you that really, if you live in New Jersey, and even if you don't live in Jersey, this is why this is important. Because Jersey and Virginia are 2 states in the union that have odd year governor races. Obviously, this is not an even year. This is 2025. New Jersey, they're picking a governor. Same with Virginia. And the reason this is important, because it's going to be a bellwether. It's going to be a signal to the rest of the country how things could be progressing. This could be a moment where people start waking up and like, oh, wow, yeah, we need to really get behind Democrats in the midterms to turn the House over and have a majority for Democrats so we can start investigating and actually doing some oversight in these House committees. But a lot of the hard work, a lot of the resistance takes place in the governor's offices across the country. We've seen what Gavin Newsom has been doing. We've seen Tim Walz. We've seen J.B. Pritzker in Illinois. Mikie Sherrill will be another one of those voices to be resistant to the violence of Donald Trump. That's why it's important. So let's begin with the clip of Mikie Sherrill just kind of explaining in the moment about Jack Ciattarelli and how he loves Donald Trump. There's nothing that he disagrees with about Donald Trump's policies.
I'm sure he would like you to focus on those 4 things, because he doesn't want you to focus on this tariff plan, which is putting small businesses out of business and freezing hiring from our large businesses. He doesn't want you to focus on the employment numbers or the fact that the deficit has gone up by $70 billion in the year Trump's been in office. He doesn't want you to focus on the one big beautiful bill, which is going to raise families' utility costs by hundreds of dollars, which is going to imperil the health care of 1 in 3 children, which already now they're going after Affordable Care Act. So they're taking away health care from people who have it, health care insurance, and then they're trying to drive up costs for people who already have the health care insurance. So in every single way, we're seeing costs go up on New Jersey families, and Jack just says he has nothing he disagrees with Donald Trump on. That's not leadership. This state needs real leadership, and that's exactly what I'll do as governor.
She's right. That's not leadership. It's self-evidently not leadership to just be a follower of a fascist leader like Donald Trump. But he's afraid. What choice does Jack Ciattarelli have? If he goes against Donald Trump, he gets buried by MAGA. If he bends the knee to Donald Trump, even if he disagrees, which I don't believe he does, the outcome is the same. Not great for him. But this really should put it in perspective. This is a very brief clip of him explaining, seriously, I don't think it's even 10 seconds long, that he agrees that the Department of Education should be decimated. He uses the word downsized, and that's very wiggly, weaselly language, because the call from inside the House is to do away with the Department of Education. And this is a conversation about education, because New Jersey schools are some of the most segregated in the entire country, a battle that we thought we'd fought and won in the 60s. Watch Jack Ciattarelli explain that downsizing the Department of Education is a good idea.
So I don't necessarily have a problem with the president and the administration downsizing the Department of Education.
All of that is bad. Maybe I should have started with this clip that I'm getting ready to play. This is the Republican nominee for governor of New Jersey talking about segregation in schools, that it's only bad because black schools are not performing well. That ultimately, he's defending racial segregation in schools, that it's explaining that it's only bad if black schools are the ones underperforming. That's the take. I mean, this is right out of Stephen Miller's nonsense. We got to protect white kids. We can't let black kids come to white schools because then white kids will be stupider. They'll be dumb. Test scores will go down. They won't be as well educated if they have black kids in their classroom. That's ultimately what he's saying, and watch him say it.
We do have the most segregated schools, but I wonder if we would be having this discussion if the performance of schools with predominantly black student populations were outperforming schools with predominantly white populations.
I think what you just heard is a very clear difference. I care deeply about our school system, and I'm going to make sure it performs better. I'm going to make sure that we're educating children for the future, especially with AI coming. But I'm also going to attack the segregation that we have going on in the state. My opponent doesn't care about that. He just wants to talk about the schools, but has not come forward with any solution for the segregation. I care about both. That's what I'm going to do as governor.
Final word?
We could integrate the Newark school system tomorrow, and it's not going to improve student performance. We need to change the curriculum.
So look, you got a choice, New Jersey. You got a choice all across the country if you're a Democrat, and your choice is either to sit this one out and watch your country be destroyed or get involved. Whether that be knocking on doors and making effort to support candidacies of people like Mikie Sherrill, Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, or the very bare minimum is to just show up at the polls and vote, to send a message to MAGA, to Donald Trump, to Jack Ciattarelli, that no, we need to desegregate our schools. We need to not allow children, black children, to be the victims of Republican racism and white supremacy in their education. Dismantling the Department of Education, not desegregating our schools. These are all fever dreams for Republicans, up to and including Jack Ciattarelli. You got a choice, New Jersey. I think it's pretty clear. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you if you are a resident of New Jersey, if you're a voter in New Jersey, or just if you're a regular run-of-the-mill Democrat across the country who's getting fired up and tired of the things we're going through right now as a country. I'd love to hear from you. You can comment below this video or wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. It is free to do so. It's free to go over and like and follow the Facebook page, Dollemore Daily. And if you really like the cut of my jib or the delivery or the things that I say, and I bring you value, only if I bring you, I said this over the weekend, if I'm a guy who you watch, but there's others I really like better, go support those people. If there's someone who brings you value and you really enjoy their content and you get something from it, go support that creator. $2 a month goes a long way if any individual creator is to marshal the size of their audience. Seriously. If it is me though, awesome, fantastic. Click the join button below this video on YouTube or just on my channel. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member, or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Both those fantastic ways to help support and produce the dissemination of truth and the democratic ideas. Anyway, I love and appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.